All right, let's see what we got here. Period 5, algebra. Homework 2, order of operations. Okay, let's do this. I don't normally do this, but I'm just going to call your name. And if you did the problem, tell me the answer. If you didn't do that one, say I didn't do that one, Mr. Hermany. And then we'll make a quick key up here for everybody to check their answers with. And then at some point in the future, I will figure out what the heck I did, which probably is just forgot to change it. So here we go. All right, rolling through fast. Antonio, 1.
The answer?
Yeah, the answer.
11.
Yes.
If you disagree, say something. Oh, and number 2.
4.
Marlene, number 3.
5.
Ryder, number 4.
Number 4?
Yeah.
Negative 13.
I got 12.
Positive 12? Okay, I don't know why anybody's laughing. I don't understand what's funny about getting negative 13 instead of 12. It's just a different answer and something went wrong. So is what it is. Let's see. I got negative 1 divided by negative 1 times 3 times 4. That's the question on number 4. What's our order of operations, Ryder, when we're dealing with multiplication and division? Marlene?
You did like first? Or wait.
Thoughts? Yeah.
You times the first.
I didn't multiplication first because PEMDAS is multiplication and division.
You can go either way because they're together in PEMDAS.
Boom. Guys, here's the deal with PEMDAS, and this is really the confusing part about PEMDAS. Is it's parentheses, exponents, multiplication and division, addition and subtraction. It doesn't actually matter whether you divide first or whether you multiply first. What you do is you work your way from left to right is the easiest way, just doing every single division and multiplication you see. You're going to get the same answer. So let's look at this. 1 divided by, or negative 1 divided by negative 1 is 1 times 3 times 4, 12. Do the multiplication first. We got a bit of a problem here because if we do the multiplication first, wouldn't we be negative 1 times 3, which is negative 3 times 4? And then we get negative 1 divided by negative 12. You see the problem with doing the multiplication first? Yeah, those are chunked together. They're the same thing. And really, it should be PEMDAS is, like I said, it's parentheses, exponents, multiplication and division, addition and subtraction. You just work your way across doing all of them. We go to that? All right. Number 5, Peyton.
I got negative 5.
Number 6, Aubrey.
24.
Got negative 24, positive 24. I don't know. Let's take a look. Negative 4. I'm using all my space. I got all these popsicle sticks sitting right in the middle of the screen. That's weird. Negative 4 parentheses, 5 minus 5 minus negative 6. Parentheses first, right? 5 minus 5 minus negative 6. Positive 6, because those negatives are canceling each other out. Multiply by negative 4. Great? We good with that? Everybody happy? Good. That's what I want is happy. Rylan, 7. Okay. No worries. Natalie, 7. Are we in agreement?
Yeah.
Okay, quick look. 18 divided by, parentheses 1 minus 4, plus 10 divided by 5. What comes first? Siegfried.
1 minus 4.
1 minus 4, 18 divided by negative 3 plus 10 divided by 5. What comes next? Division. We just worked our way from left to right doing all the multiplies or divided bys, right? In this case, there's no multiplied, so we just worked our way from left to right doing all the divided bys. 18 divided by negative 3?
Negative 6.
10 divided by 5? Really? 6 divided by 2 is 4? Oh, that's a plus. Never mind. Seeing if you're paying attention. Good. Yeah? What?
Can I be the teacher?
No.
Dang it.
All right, Jamie, number 8.
-8.
We in agreement?
Minus 4.
Yes.
Jacqueline, number 9.
Negative 2.
I feel like I emphasized your name wrong. I said Jacqueline. Is it Joplin or Jacqueline? Joplin. I had that last week, and then today it was like, wait, it's gone. Any questions about any of these 9 problems? Yeah.
I did not see the 9th one, so I only did 8.
I don't even know why you bother coming to school. JK. It happens. It's not the end of the world.
Okay.
It's the end of the world.
Any other questions? All right. So, I need to come around and check off. All right. Front row, starting over here. Owen, homework. Antonio, homework.
Which algebra are we? Are we the first or the second?
Siegfried.
No, it's the bottom one. It's the very bottom on
Bonnie.
Algebra 1. Oh, yeah, we're the last class. Actually, I don't know.
I'm not very good at math.
Maybe.
If you're smart, why do you think that?
It's all over here.
We're not actually.
What class?
Grace.
I don't have your idea.
Jonah.
That's good. Third period. I'll have it tomorrow.
Ryder. Morning. Afternoon. Aubrey.
Well, why do you think you're going to go to?
Let's see. Jamie and Daniel.
I was
Good, good.
Please say yes. Please say yes. Yeah. No, don't even bring it. No.
Right.
I think
All right. Next. Syllabus. If you haven't turned it in yet, it goes in the one over there marked 5th period. Ignore what it says we have during 5th period because I have not updated those, but they do say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go ahead and put it over there in the inbox. You'll see a pile of blue ones from last time. I think that's you guys. Are you allowed to what? Have your boots on? I encourage you to have boots on when you come to my classroom.
Hoods.
Hoods. No, I hate hoods. I hate hoods.
Why?
Why?
It is there.
Thing one, for all I know, you got your hood on and you got, then people pull them tight. I don't even know if they're asleep or awake. And then they got their headphones going in there and I can't tell. And I want to see your faces. I mean, you know, the bits of your faces we're allowed to see.
It's cold.
But yeah, it's not cold. It's, oh my God.
It's hot in here.
It's 74 degrees in here. If I had my choice, it would be 5 degrees
So what you're
colder.
saying is you could go outside.
All right, we've resolved that.
Sit inside and read all day like a Disney princess. I know, I would happily be.
Also,
Mufasa.
why are you always turning around talking to them? What's wrong with your partner? Turn and say hi, Aubrey. Okay, good. Just checking.
I just like know them, you know?
Get out your Chromebooks.
So,
I don't know why he already has it out, but now I'm telling you to get it out. Open it, turn it on, log in. I want to know, and I believe the answer is yeah, I want to know that you're all capable of logging in, and I want to show you some cool stuff that's going to make your life easier.
Yes.
And my life easier. Which really is more important.
Got it.
Once you log in, go to Google Classroom, click on My Class, and stop. I've had students tell me that they thought I was scary in the past. And I gotta think that it's not better because I have a mask on. But I'm gonna try to be less scary. I don't know if I can. What?
For Halloween, can you?
No. All right. Now, sorry, now I'm laughing a lot. I want you to click on the tab at the top that says classwork. Guys, this is my recommendation for how you get to things in my class. I don't know what other teachers say. I don't know what's easier in other teachers' classes. But I'm going to tell you that I believe that classwork is the easiest way to find things from my class. As you can see, I topic it by week. This is week 2, September 7 to 10. Therefore, you have a folder called week 2, September 7 to 10, September 10, which will have every assignment I give you this week. To me, it's really easy. And I've had people tell me in the past, well, I couldn't find this or I couldn't find that. And I said, well, where were you looking? And they were just looking in the stream. But the stream just keeps pushing everything down. And, you know, if there's comments or notes or this or that, they all go in the stream and then everything just gets pushed down until eventually everything's down at the bottom. So I'm going to recommend classwork. Now, look in the top left corner right above your classwork there. It says View My Work. Click on it. If you click on the classwork tab, you will see something that says View My Work. Everybody, anyone not found that? Guys, I love this screen because there's a list of everything I've ever assigned you. And it tells you if you've turned it in, and it tells you if I've graded it, and it tells you if you haven't turned it in at all. And there's a couple other cool little things. There's one little thing that looks like a paper clip. Don't make fun of my drawing. That's a paper clip. That means that you have put an attachment into Google Classroom under that assignment. I'm not normally going to ask you to turn stuff in Google Classroom, but for some of your other classes, maybe some English teacher wants a draft of a paper attached. You can go right in there and go, yeah, there it is. I attached it. There's a little paper clip icon. This means that there are comments, which means you look at that assignment and you see that there's an attachment, and then you see that there's comments, and maybe that means that your teacher's already giving you comments and giving it back to you. You don't have to go into every assignment trying to find out what the status of it is. Oh, look right there. It says comments. Well, the teacher must have sent me a comment. Now you can go read the comment and see what you need to do next. And then off to the side, you'll notice that the options are missing, turned in, or it'll have some kind of grade. Here's what I am doing to make your life earlier. I am keeping 3 completely separate grade books to make your life easier. The first grade book is this piece of paper that I walk around with. This does not make your life easier, but it allows me to walk around the classroom grading stuff. The second grade book, which does not make your life easier, is Skyward. That's where we do all our grading. If you want to know whether you're getting an A in my class, you go to Skyward and it says A, and you go, sweet, I love it. The part that I am doing to make your life easier is Google Classroom. Because this View My Work, every one of those assignments has the worksheet attached to it. It's a lot easier for you to go there than it is to go to Skyward and then come to me and say, oh, Mr. Harmony, I was missing the homework we did on such and such a day. I think I was absent. Or go to Google Classroom and then dig around and try to find it. I could just put all the assignments into Google Classroom and not grade them, but that makes it less easy for you because you wouldn't have that list of, yeah, look, this one's missing and that one wasn't graded and this one is graded. Now, that's for you. I'm going to ask you to do something, the sole purpose of which is now to make my life easier. When you finish doing a homework assignment, not when it's graded, not when you come to class, when you finish doing a homework assignment in your notebook, click the button that says turned in or turn in Google Classroom. And the reason I ask you to do that is when I go to put these grades in, I'm doing this and then I'm typing them into Skyward and then I have to separately type them into Google Classroom. They're not linked. When I go to put them into Google Classroom, it makes me go through extra steps if you don't click the turn in button. It's just a bit of a pain. It's not the end of the world, but it's a bit of a pain. So when you go into the assignment, one of the options will be turn in. Yes? Here, let's do this. Can I borrow your, Oh, it doesn't say turn in. Okay, that's a bit confusing because I didn't actually know what it said. Mark is done. Once you're done doing the homework in your notebook, just click that button for me. Then I can go into Google Classroom and I walked around the classroom and I graded 20 assignments. And then I go into Google Classroom and it says that 20 people turned it in. And I'm like, sweet, I don't have to go try to figure out, well, who didn't click the mark as done button and then go to a different section. And then it says, are you sure they didn't say it was done? Or you really want to grade it? And I say, well, yes, I do. It's just a bit of a hassle. So if you can remember, go in there, do the assignment, click mark is done once you're done with your homework. And then I will put that grade into Google Classroom for you when I do my grading. And it will make it easier for you to keep track of what assignments you have and have not done. Any questions about that? Now's your chance. Now's your chance. No, all good. Cool. Guys, if you get confused, it's not the end of the world. Let me know. Ask me questions. I know you had the Chromebooks last year, but I know you were also at middle school, and middle school is just sort of really like the 8th year of being babysat, really, if you think about it, right? I mean, we're to the point now where things are actually going to be fun, and there's going to be a lot of responsibility put on you. And there we go. Cool. Put your Chromebooks away. All right. Just so you know, the class is being live streamed on YouTube. It's being live streamed from this camera. None of you are on the camera. None of you will be on the camera, just so you know. That's a pretty strict rule, and I got no problems with it. Can't have students being live streamed on YouTube. Just wouldn't be great.
Can you say hi?
Yeah, they're going to hear your voices on occasion. In fact, you probably just did, but we'll not make efforts to make noises that will stand up on the video. We're just going to do class. I don't do anything different. But what this does is it allows people who are absent today. For example, if you were absent today, you could just jump on YouTube and go to my channel, and you could be following along and doing the math with everybody else. So, all right. Give me just a second. Cool. I need each pair of people. Have one of these boxes. Go.
Yeah.
I remember this in 4th grade.
I didn't say open or play with. I just said have. All right, guys, quick intro. Quick intro. Many of you probably worked with these before. I told you the other day that some of the stuff we were going to do was going to be familiar. You may know it. You may have done it quite a bit and get it. You may vaguely remember them. But the goal here is to reinforce that knowledge so when we dive into the actual algebra curriculum, we're not whizzing right past things that you just didn't really get to spend too much time on last year. So bear with me if this seems super familiar. That's okay. We're just going to sort of have these reviews. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to get out of the box one of each of the different tiles. So you're going to have to do a little digging. One of each of the different tiles out of the box and sitting on the table in front of you.
No, this is here. I think I'm done. Two, or 3, 4, 6, 9, 8, 7, 2, 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I see.
You guys switch seats for me, please?
Yeah.
Thanks. Oh, there we go. Battery leaked in my remote. So I put new batteries in and I'll have to try to clean up the contacts a little bit later. All right. Hopefully, this is what you got. You got one that looks like this. You got one that looks like that. One that looks like that. One that looks like this. You got one that looks like this. And wait for it. You got one that looks like this. Now, you'll also have one that looks like maybe that. If you were missing any of those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them, don't worry about that one. I'll explain that one in a minute. If you're missing any of those 6, find them. I'll give you a hint. This one is navy blue. These two are light blue. These two are purple. And this one is green. And then this one's also navy blue. And I want you to draw these in your notebook. You can trace them if you want, or you can just draw them, or however you want to do it. Just draw them in your notebook. You don't have to draw the last one.
On the graph notebook?
Draw these things. Yes. On the graph notebook. In the graph notebook. As the case may be. Here's a question for you. Why do we measure things in inches?
We learned that yesterday in biology, because it was English, I'm not specifically why but it was old English things everyone used more people use in it. Now where we are the only ones who do it, except for the smaller countries. So,
Doesn't explain why inches.
I don't know why.
Why inches? Follow-up question. Does it matter? Does it make any difference what we measure in? Or does it only matter that we all agree? There's a measurement called a cubit, which is from here to there. A cubit is from the tip of your elbow to the tip of your finger. Perfectly good measurement. And they just picked somebody and they at some point said, well, let's make a stick that's that long. And they said, well, whose cubit shall we use? And they said, well, why don't we use mine because, I'm the one who thought of the idea. Okay, and they made a stick and it went from here to here. And then they just made all the sticks the same length and then they just gave them out. You need to measure stuff here. Here's a cubit stick. Okay, well, we're all using the same thing. So it doesn't really matter what we use or what we call it, does it? Measurements are completely arbitrary. You just need to pick something and agree with it. So we are going to, looking at this dark blue tile, call that length 1. That's 1 unit. Any idea how long the other side of this tile would be?
1.
1, because it's a square. So just a reminder, I am mostly gonna, oh, wait, what? Oh yeah, there they are. I'm mostly gonna pull the popsicle sticks. If I don't, if I'm just saying, anyone know? Let's put up our hands. This will get into the habit, and I don't always remember to just sort of enforce that, but just so we don't get a bunch of people like shouting out, and then I don't know, like, especially if everybody's answering different stuff, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. Everybody's saying different things. So here's the deal on algebra tiles, guys. We are going to name these tiles. In fact, this is the title of the page that you just put all your drawings on. We're going to name them by area. What's the name of that tile? If we're going to name these tiles by area, what is the name of that tile? I'll give you a second to think about it. And I lost my piece of paper. Hang on just a second. I don't know your names. I left my thing back here. Well, that seems sort of rude. Chaplain.
Unit 1 time.
A unit tile. Because it has an area of 1, agreed? So we're going to call it the unit tile. It's 1 unit. Light blue rectangle. I want to know the dimensions of the light blue rectangle. Go. So you're talking to your partner. I should see you trying to figure it out. The dimensions of the light blue rectangle.
So the bottom 93 or 3 or 2. Not sure.
You can use the tiles to try to figure it out.
Yeah, okay. And if you think it is 4,
That's measured by.
it's like
More of those
I
Count
forgot.
them off.
There was a certain word, I think it was 1. It's not 1, but like, so 3.5.
Exactly.
Well,
Can you show me?
maybe maybe here. I think it's the same thing. Yeah. I thought they were. I want to break this so that. Three and a half. So it's decided, yeah, for sure.
Not exactly.
Yeah,
Close, but not exactly.
I got
I should have made my brain on myself. So far,
Excellent. Why is that cheating? Or is it utilizing resources that you have available to you?
But you said some people don't have it.
They might not.
Good. Yeah.
All right. How big, what are the dimensions? Remember, the word dimensions means length and width. What are the dimensions of that light blue rectangle? Ava, what did you guys come up with?
4.
4? Exactly 4?
Yep.
Ava says that's exactly 4. How about this side? How many people agree with exactly 4? You guys agree with exactly 4?
Well, on to say something.
Yeah, go.
If you use the small piece, then it's exactly 4. If you use this one, it's like 3.5.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. So you're saying if you use that, you got 4, but if you use this, you got 3.5. I drew that wrong too, didn't I? I said only have 4 spaces. Here, let's take a minute and let's talk about this thing right here. The reason you have this is so that if I asked you to get out 20 unit tiles, you wouldn't have to count out 20 individual little tiles. You could just get out 4 of those. But here's the problem. It sort of looks like they came from the factory all stuck together, doesn't it? So the reason a lot of you have like ones that aren't 5, that are like 2 or 3, is because when we first got the algebra tiles, we'd hand them out and they'd get them all out of the box and they'd say, oh, these ones are stuck together, and they'd start breaking them apart, just like you would do with a puzzle at home. And then we'd say, don't break those. Oh, it's too late. They're broken apart. So we're not going to use these a whole lot, but they are there if you need them, just to make life a little bit easier. So I'm being told that if I line up one of these 5 things next to this, I get 3.5. Okay, but that if I take 4 of these units, that they'll line up exactly. Are we in agreement? This is where we have to be a little bit careful. And it's an understandable mistake. That if we're taking this little thing and we're saying, oh, well, I'll just make a mark here, and then I'll move it, and then I'll make a mark here, and then I'll move it, and I'll make a mark here, it's really easy for the marks to not be exact and to not be exactly lined up with the mark. And then depending on your pencil line might be thicker than you thought it was. And all of a sudden you have an inaccurate measurement. There's a reason that we use tape measures, for example, to measure a room if we're going to be getting carpet. And we don't get a little 12-inch ruler and then go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and mark our way across, because it won't be as accurate. Guys, do we agree that this is not exactly 4? So how big is it? Well, we could also not call out things and put up our hands if we have ideas. But since we have called it out, why would we say X?
Because it's unknown.
Yeah.
Not here.
Yeah, we don't know how big this is. It's somewhere between 3 and 4, but we don't actually know how big this is. And this was very intentional. When they made these tiles, they said, if I make it exactly 4 units long, what will every student do? You'll say, how long is this tile? And they'll go, 4. And now that's a 4 tile. But actually, we don't know how big it is. It's somewhere between 3 and 4. But even that doesn't matter. What we're going to say is we are going to say, I don't know how long this tile is, so I'm going to call it X. This tile, the length of it represents the price of a banana. How much are bananas worth today? I don't know. How much will they be worth tomorrow? I don't know. How much were they worth over the weekend? I don't know. It varies. Depends on all the things we talked about last week. So we're going to call this length I don't know and let it represent something unknown. So next question is, what's the name of this tile? Talk to your partner.
Yeah. Because like it's X, you know, they and you know that the first one, if you get it right, if you order just make the next one. This one is everything's unknown, so it's all X. Yeah. I'm not sure. We're going to explore. You got it.
All right, here we go. Jonah, what's the area of this tile?
We don't know.
We don't know the area?
Oh, no, wait. I forgot what's the area.
Wait, I don't understand the question. What?
Wait, in area.
I want to know the area of this tile.
We don't know. Well, I don't know.
If you were asked to write an expression to represent the area of that tile, what would you say? How do you find the area of a rectangle? Area of a rectangle? Remember that one? Partner? Area of a rectangle?
Length times width.
Length times width. Does that make sense, Johnny? You remember that name?
Oh, yeah.
So how do I find the area of that rectangle?
Length times width.
So what's the area of that rectangle?
X.
Boom. Area of this rectangle is X because it's got a width of 1 and a length of X. So what am I going to call this tile since we named these by area, Jonah?
X.
I'm going to call this the X tile. That tile could be used to represent the price of a banana. All right, light blue, big tile, square one. I want to know the dimensions. I want to know the area. Go. Yes, question. Or you know the answer already? Too fast.
You got it right. So that's 10. 4 times 1. This one is 2. Oh. And then 10. And they were like, X is there.
Yeah.
Why did you say X? That's why there's 2 X.
Yeah, we
Now I know there's 2 X. Then times with X.
All right, let's see what we got. Katie, dimensions. How long are the two sides of this? And? We in agreement? It's a square? X long, X wide. Area, Katie? Length times width, X times X, and the easy way to write X times X is to just say X squared. Rias, what are we going to name this tile?
Which one? X square.
Yeah, we're going to call this the X squared tile. Notice I like to put a little dash in between so I know they're together. The X tile and the X squared tile. We good? Purple, rectangle, long, go. How long is it? How wide is it? What's its area? What are we going to call it?
Oh no, that's it. There's 1 X. Oh, yeah. Oh, wait, no, there's a 1. What is it called? What? What? Yeah, 1 on the bottom. On the side, unknown again.
10 seconds.
This one. Is that yours? Melted.
These are the frogs. We've seen them a
It
while.
was close.
They don't come out of Granny Eyes. Little tree frog. You can break her.
Why?
When we get sunny, he comes and sits on the village and rests in the sun and chirps. It's awesome. All right. Here we go. Super.
Oh. Not
Do we
sure.
know, what do we know?
1 on the shorter.
Agreed? So tell me about this side, Super.
It's unknown.
So X?
Yes. it
So that could be X?
Yes.
Same length as that one?
No. No. Wait, no.
So if it's unknown, but it's not X, what shall we call it?
Okay.
Aubrey?
Why?
What do you think?
Yeah, well.
Remember last week, we used X for the price of bananas, and then we used Y for the price of apples? Hey, what the heck? Why not? Let's have another variable. Yeah, now we got 2. Now we can calculate apples and bananas. Nice. So now I need to know, Supri, we're still your turn here. What's the area of that rectangle?
Why?
Aha! Area of that rectangle is 1 times Y, which is Y. Ready, Supri?
Why?
We're going to call it the Y tile. Nice. You know what I'm going to ask you next? Big purple square, go.
Yes.
It just gets easier and easier as you go along, huh?
Yeah, because there's different.
Got that one done yet?
Try to get something right now.
Don't ruin the surprise.
What would it call that? Okay, what's called a white tube, no? Yeah. If you have to put things.
Are we ready?
Yeah.
Daniel,
Yes.
dimensions.
Y times Y.
Y by Y. Area.
Y squared.
Y squared. Name.
Y squared tile.
Nice. We good?
Yes.
One left. It's green. Go.
Okay. One side is going to be Y because of the same dimensions. And then the bottom one is the same thing as this. Yeah. So Y X X Y. Your stuff.
We ready? Grace. Dimensions.
X and Y.
We all in agreement?
Yep.
Grace, area.
X, Y.
Quick aside. Is everybody comfortable with the idea that X times Y and XY are the exact same thing? That's sometimes a little bit of a struggle because if I'm multiplying numbers, are those the same thing? No. If that's 23, this is 2 times 3. We have to put the multiplication in when we're doing numbers. But when we're doing letters, it's implied. That if I've got an X and I got a Y and I multiply them together, I don't have to say X times Y. I could just say XY. I can say X times Y, but they're the same thing for letters. They're just not the same thing for numbers. So you have to be a little bit careful there. So the area of that is XY. And who was answering my question? Oh, it was Grace. Grace, what's this tile going to be called?
X, Y tile.
Woo. So what's the purpose? The purpose of algebra tiles is to give you something to visualize, because this is the first truly conceptual thing you have been taught in math is algebra. Everything else, I've got 2 puppies, and then I get 3 puppies, and when I take my 3 puppies home and add them together, I got 5 puppies. Everything you did was very concrete right up until algebra. And then we start talking about these vague X. Well, what's X? I don't know. And it becomes much harder to wrap your mind around. And so one of the things that we try to do in teaching math is give you something concrete to wrap your mind around. So down the road, when we're not using algebra tiles, and I say, well, here's an example of a question that people just get confused on all the time. What's 2x plus 5x? And the first thing people say is, well, I don't know, because I don't know what x is. Hey, you're right. But then I say, can you simplify that? And they say, well, I don't know. And then I say, well, how many x's? And they say 2. One here and one there. But then I say, what if you were building this with algebra tiles? What would you have sitting in front of you? And they say, oh, I would have 2 of the little blue ones, and I would have another 3 of the little blue ones. So what do I have? Anybody? Just shout this one out. I've got 7 of the little blue ones. So I've got 7x. So having this as a fallback to I can now visualize what we're doing here can be really, really helpful. We are going to very quickly get to the point where we're not actually using the tiles. But if you can visualize them, you'll be able to do every problem we talked about. Okay. All right. You guys familiar with the Pavlovian Dog Experiment? Pavlov's dog? So Pavlov had a dog. He was a scientist. He was actually a psychologist, I think, or something related to that, because this is a long, long time ago. But he noticed that his dog always slobbered when he gave him dinner. Anyone have a dog? Have you noticed the dog starts slobbering when you get their food out? So he did a little experiment, and he said, okay, well, here's what I'm going to do. He slobbers whenever I start to get his food out. But does he slobber because it's food, or does he slobber because he thinks it's food? So the experiment is he would ring a bell, and then he'd put the food down, and the dog would slobber. He'd run over and eat his food. And he did this for a while. And then what he did is he just rang the bell, and the dog would slobber, but he wouldn't give him any food. What he had done is he had trained the dog's brain to associate the bell with food. And if you slobber for food, now you slobber for the bell. It's called a Pavlovian response. It's one that's trained in that you can't help it. You don't get to decide, oh, now I'm going to slobber. Somebody rings a bell and drool starts coming out of your mouth. The reason I bring it up is because I have this theory that if every time I ask you a math question, I go, and then ask you a math question, eventually you'll associate that sound with being asked math questions. And I'm hoping that years from now, somebody will go like that, and you'll immediately be looking around for what math question am I supposed to answer. And I will have trained you to do that. That'll be the Pavlovian response from my classroom. So I thought that was sort of fun. I think it would be awesome if people did, if they heard that rattling sticks noise and immediately started thinking math problems. So what math problems do I want you to do? Turn the page to page 584 in your book. Page 584. You don't have a book? Oh my gosh. Where do we get algebra books? Straight back, directly behind Jepline. They're green. It says algebra on the shelf. Wait. One per pair. Go.
Okay.
Turn to page 500. I don't know. I think you might want them. Turn to page 584. Now, take a look at problem A. On problem A4, I'm going to put it up on the board here. You can't see it because it's behind all the algebra tiles. Right there, A4. See that?
Yes.
All right. Here's what I want you to do. Starting with problem A, I want you to get all these tiles out and put them in a pile in front of you. 3 X's, 5 1s, an X squared, a Y, 3 more X squareds, and a 2. Get them out, put them in a pile in front of you.
Yeah, yeah.
X squared.
Oh, X squared.
That's not the same.
Plus Y. Oh, wait, no Y. One Y.
Which one do I? Okay.
And then 3X.
I was like, very good.
Oh, no, I think it's
How many waters are there in the world?
Yeah, that's it. Sometimes I just get number.
I know you're looking for
I skip the number the
No, it's okay. Okay, good. Got it.
Five. Three X, five. Two, and then 4 X's, and 1 Y. 4 X squared. Then a Y. So, 3 X, 5 X squared, then 1 Y, then 3 X squared.
All right, here's one I forgot to tell you about. See how these have a red side and a colored side? The red side stands for negatives. Turn them to the colored side, because we're not gonna use negatives for a bit here. We gotta think about positives only. We don't know what X is. X might be negative or positive, but we're thinking about an X, not a negative X. We're thinking about a 1, not a negative 1. Guys, there's a pile you should have in front of you. I see 3 X's, 5 1s, an X squared, Y, 3X squared, and 2. Agreed? I want you to write that down. Just like it is in the book, next to A. I want you to write down 3X plus 5 plus X squared and so on, yes.
Yeah. I had a question about one of these, can we just use these, but yeah.
Anytime you got more than 5, if you got the little 5,000 units, you can put them out there.
Okay, well, let's write this down.
I want you to write that down, but it's the same thing, right? What are you asking?
I completely forgot.
Which?
Huh?
What? You forgot what you were gonna ask?
Yeah.
Okay. If you think of it, I'll be here. All right, we ready? Everyone's got this written down?
Yes.
Here's the question. Can we simplify? Talk to your partner. Don't put your hand up. Talk to your partner. Can we simplify? Do it with the tiles and then write it down.
We could combine like the 3 X's and 1 X. Yeah, so that's gonna be 4 X already, right? Yeah. Okay. To start with 3 X's, only 3, so it's like 3 X. Then we got 5 and 7, like 5 and 2, we could combine them, we could make 7, so 7. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And how many extra tiles do you have?
So we
4?
could do the.
So that's 4 extra. And I have the only Y one, so yeah. Yes.
Yes, correct. So this is what it is.
So these are the 3 X's. Yeah. So since there aren't any more of these, so they're gonna stay alone. They can't combine with anything.
Yeah.
This is 5 plus 7 equals plus 7, right?
Yeah. So I did combine them. And then we had 1x2 and 3x2. So if you combine them, it's going to be 4. So 4x2, yeah. Yeah. And we only have one of this. This one's using. It's basically combined all the characters.
That is a 5?
Oh, yeah. That's the same since there aren't any more. Yeah. Good job.
15 more seconds.
Yeah, I dropped it out for the So what happened?
Oh, we did. So 3, 7, 4.
All right, here we go. Okay, let's see what we got. Rylan. Okay, well, let's do it together. Let's see what we got so far, and then we'll see if there's anything else. What can we combine, Rylan?
You can combine the, actually,
I look at the tiles, don't look at the expression. What can we put together?
combine the 3 x's.
The 3 x's? Okay, so they're together. What else?
Well, you can combine these ones. These 2, these are y's.
How many y's do we have up here? I've only got one.
Yeah. Okay, so then,
That's the 5. That's 5 unit tiles.
okay, that's what, you can combine these ones.
Aha, what are those called?
X squared.
Good. And if I combine them, how many am I going to have?
You're going to have, well, 8 of the x's, or what?
So
You're gonna have 2.
you said to combine these.
Yeah.
How many do I have of these right here, Rylan?
Well, you have 2.
No, right here.
Oh, well, that's x squared.
How many of them?
4.
How many x squareds?
1.
1. How many do I have here?
3.
3. So if I put them all together, how many do I have?
4.
That's it. I'm going to put these all together, and now I got 4 of them. Guys, does it make sense? And I'm glad we got to have this discussion because I heard some sort of odd things, but we got to the good stuff at the end. These aren't x's, even though the sides are length x. They're just x squareds. And I had one of them here, and I had 3 more of them over here, and then we put them all together, and Rylan said, oh, well, now I got 4 of them. Absolutely. 4 of the x squared tiles, the square things. That's it. Doesn't break down any further. Now, awesome. Rylan, what else could I combine up on this screen?
Well, these 2, or no?
These 2, where are they going to go? What do they combine with? Here, hang on. Let me make this much easier, because I think part of the problem is it's hard to see my screen. Here we go. Ready? I'm taking that away, and I'm putting those there. Now what can I combine?
Well,
With?
the other 2.
How many have I got?
Or wait, 7.
7. Sorry about the confusion. I shouldn't have used that stuck together tile because it's hard to see because of the weird projector. So now I've combined all the x squareds together because they were in 2 different places. And I combined all the units because they were in 2 different places. Rylan, you want to tell me what I have here, working from left to right? What have I got here?
Those 3x.
plus, what have I got here?
4x,
Four what's?
4x, or 4 squared,
What squares?
x squared,
There you go. What have I got here?
but that's y,
And what have I got here?
and z.
You see how that works? When I give you this long thing and it's all full of letters and it's got alphabets all over it, and I say simplify, we can just stop, visualize what each thing is. Oh, look, I've got 3 of these rectangular tiles that I called X. And I've got 1 of these square tiles that I call X squared. And then down the road, I got another 3 of these square tiles that I called X squared. And I got 1 of these Y tiles, the longer ones. And I got 5 of these unit tiles. And then I got another 2 of these unit tiles. So I can put all the X squareds together. And I can put all the units together. And I've only got 1 of these, so I can't put it together. And these are already together, so I don't have to do anything with them. And now I can rewrite it with only 4 things instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things. It just got easier. Nice job. Thank you, Round. Thank you for sticking with it. I super appreciate it when people stick with it even when they're getting a bit lost and they're not sure. Because eventually we're going to get to the end. We're going to figure it out. We'll just figure it out together. All right? B, C, and D. There are 3 more. Go. In the book. Page 584.
2x squared. We'll just write it first.
Yeah, want it to look just like this. Write the original, get out the tiles, combine. Write the combined.
Okay.
We got 8 minutes.
Whenever
Should be able to
you're
do.
I was write like, make them. Put them in. I got it. Yeah, I forgot what it do. It's on my right. Yeah, so it just, would it be 3? Yes. There we go. It is 3. Yeah. Wait. Oh, yes, that's it. I'm sorry.
Well, I would do that one, and then you should write down the simplified version first.
Yeah, the 3x squared.
And then just do the all 3
Only
the
thing
same
is,
thing.
look at my
Simplify 'em.
so that's 6. Remember, and these 3 together equals 3x squared. You got it.
Yeah.
Everything in it, everything in it. Yeah, good job. You got it. Now after that, we can just copy the next one. Yeah, 3. Yes, I'm
It'll be easier when it's not as hot in here.
I was super cold the whole day.
Hate when that happens.
I'll just take the towel down. That's good. Confusing to me. Honestly. I think it's just super confusing to me. I don't know. It's just me. Yeah.
Well, sometimes it's because you don't know the shape, like you forget the shape of the back of it.
Oh, I know. Like, what?
Can we really simple? Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I know.
I feel like that's why
Can
squares.
we? Can we?
Ready, students and staff, please excuse this interruption. We've been informed that our buses will be late again today. So students who are taking the bus, please wait in the courtyard until buses arrive. Thank you.
There you go.
I don't know.
How many of those?
These are the,
We're almost done with this, maybe.
these are the,
Here, I'll take it out.
So when you're doing this, I would start by laying these out. Two extra. Two extra. Plus you have one.
Or
You get it. Oh, there it is. Plus you have X. Plus you have X squared. Plus you get two more of the X squared.
I can't believe
Plus we get the 5.
No, not like that, I just.
Now,
Must
start putting them together.
Why? It is a why.
So what do we got here? We got
Okay,
3x squared plus,
I know, just make it so confusing.
Plus.
Just take him on, I'm like, it's weird, right? Okay.
right, that last plus is the lumps down to just
So,
3y.
7y,
Yeah.
Cool?
and
3y, yeah.
Hey, since the buses are gonna be late, we can just hang out and finish, right?
2x down.
2x.
Yeah. And then,
I tried. You can't say I didn't try.
there are only 4 x's, so 4x. And then y. Good job. Not good. There's 2 extra ones. Can I organize this?
Done?
Yeah, silver. 4x. 4x.
All right, guys, here's what I need. I need the books neatly back where you found them on the shelf. I need the algebra tiles back in their bins and sitting back and over on that table over there where you got them from. Go. We will finish this tomorrow, so don't, well, have this tomorrow? We will finish this on Thursday, so don't feel like, wow, I'm not quite done. It's okay. You totally have homework. Look, look. 5th period, algebra, homework. It's actually 8.1.1. I changed the name of it, but it's the first of the A homework. It's already in Google Classroom.
You didn't lie about it.
No, it's not. All right, let's go. Let's go. Algebra tiles away, books away. Check the floor. Make sure you didn't leave anything behind. I've already got a coffee cup.
Oh, yeah, that's mine.
Is that yours?
Yeah.
Take it.
Alright.
It's right there. I sure was glad there was nothing in it.
Yeah, no, I finished it before the class.
Not yet. I know. A whole nother minute without your earphones in. What are you gonna do? I just ordered some because my last one's broke, and I ordered ones that sit. They go over your ear, but then they sit right here, and then the sound goes apparently through the bone of your cheek into your head, so then you can still hear like ambient noise and cars, and I'm pretty excited.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
Attention students, if you are on the right bus with Route 20, the Route 20, your bus is in the bus.
Uh-oh.
So you can head out.
Uh-oh, who was this?
I think that's Ava.
Ava!
Thank you.
Ava! 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 Come back! Aren't you glad you got to have your name shouted all the way down the hall? You bet. Have a good day. Ooh. Adam? I'm Adam.
Enough of this.